Welcome on in, guys. Three bold takes. And if you watched our prediction for the Pop-Tart Bowl, this is a very similar situation. We have another one of the best breakfast items. That's Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl between Oregon State and Notre Dame. And Notre Dame coming in at 9-3, Oregon State 8-4. Oregon State, as we all know, dropped their last two to Washington and Oregon. Really could have just created even more chaos in the college football playoff if they would have won one of those games, but they didn't. Notre Dame, on the other hand, kind of turned things around, I would say, after those quick two losses early in the year. Winning was at 4 out of their last 5, only lost to Clemson by 8 points. Notre Dame comes into the game as a 6.5-point favorite. Wow, Chase, is that enough, or are they disrespecting the Beavers here?
Man, I do think it is a little disrespectful. Oregon State has had a wonderful season, but when you look at it, DJU in the transfer portal, and I believe there were some off the field incidents with their running back Martinez. So I'm not sure if he is playing in this game or not. However, this is a lose-lose bowl game, honestly. I feel bad for Tony the Tiger. Sam Hartman is doing draft prep, so he's not playing this game. And then Estime, the running back for Notre Dame, has also declared for the draft, so he's not going to be in this game. So you're possibly out the top two big name players for each side of the ball, or for each team. My apologies. So that sucks right there to start. But personally, I'm going to ride with Notre Dame and the Irish. I think 6.5 is a little disrespectful to Oregon State in their season, but I think they're taking into account the players on the Oregon State side of the ball that won't be there. I think Notre Dame shows up mainly because of Coach Freeman. I think his coaching has been wonderful. You also had Oregon State's head coach go to Michigan State. My apologies, forgot about that one. But Freeman's going to have his guys ready. And then also, I think the defensive side of the ball for Notre Dame is also going to be very impactful to this game. So I think it's going to be a bludgeoning. I'm seeing more of a 17-13 kind of a deal and being right on the cusp. But it's not going to be a blowout by any means. Quinn?
Yeah, you look at the matchup, man, like with DJU not being there, with the head coach from Oregon State not being there. I know that there's going to be players from Notre Dame missing, but when you just remove, like, here's your two big stars gone, here's our two big stars gone. What do we have underneath that? Way more talent underneath that on the Notre Dame roster. Better coach on the, or I'm not going to necessarily say better coach, but definitely more proven coach than whoever is going to be the interim at Oregon State in Marcus Freeman. And then the history of Notre Dame, let's be frank, they play in a massive bowl game, whether it's BCS Bowl, college football playoff, national title game, or New Year's Six game, they lose every time, including a matchup in the Fiesta Bowl to Oregon State back in like 2002. But when they play somebody in a smaller tier bowl, they win almost every time. So give me Notre Dame. And I think 6.5 is about right. I think they probably cover, win by about 8 or 9.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Notre Dame as well. Listen, a 10-3 record for Notre Dame is going to bode very well for their confidence moving forward into next year. Right? You know, a 9-4 record for Oregon State. I don't really know how much that does for a program that just lost their head coach, and their starting quarterback. Of course, for Notre Dame, the same, but historically, Notre Dame recruits better than Oregon State just because of who they are, right? It's Notre Dame. People know it. People love it. So I think Notre Dame wins, and 6.5. I don't think they cover the 6.5. I think this is going to be a sloppy game on both sides because you do have two new quarterbacks, a new coach, or an interim coach for Oregon State, two new running backs for both teams. Like, it's going to be a sloppy game. I have a feeling. So I don't think Notre Dame covers, but the Irish get the win.